Okay, AP seminar, we are going to talk about how to write a good research question. This is going to be the sort of fundamental basic structure for pretty much everything you do from here forward. So you've got to be able to put together like a really solid, really meaningful research question. So hopefully this will help you in terms of framing that. Research questions aren't overly complicated, but being able to write a good one is important. So, step one. What is a research question? Well, the research question is the thing that guides your entire research project. It has to be open-ended. It has to be available for lots of different ideas. It needs to be something that different people could research differently. But ultimately, your research question is the thing that provides the sort of basic framework and guiding information for your entire research project. That doesn't mean that your research question can't change part of the way through your research. You might start thinking you're going to be researching one thing and then get 2 months into the project and realize, you know what, this paper actually kind of went off in this slightly tangential direction. That's totally fine. But the research question is the thing that sort of kicks off the beginning of the project. So a research question uses the TQS structure. T is topic, Q is question, S is significance. All research questions are actually not written as questions to start. I know that's really confusing, but you really want to start almost with a couple of sentences and really thinking about your topic, your question, and your significance, and then move into sort of the basic question structure. So your topic is something that you're writing about, really any thing that is what your writing or your research is focused on. It should be something that's interesting to you. Sometimes I'm going to tell you the topic this year. Sometimes I'm going to say you have to do a research paper on blank. But even within that prompt, you're going to pick something that is interesting to you and something that can be researched. This is really key, okay? Some research just isn't available. You can't find out how effective a COVID-19 vaccine would be because we don't have a COVID-19 vaccine. There's no way for you to do that research yet. And then you're going to need to name your topic specifically. What are you learning about? What are you studying? What are you examining? You want to use these kinds of verbs, okay? So just for some examples, you might start with the topic of I'm studying the causes of disappearance of large North American mammals. You might start with I'm analyzing Lincoln's belief about predestination and their influence on his reasoning. Or I'm evaluating stories about the Battle of the Alamo. All of these are solid topics. They're researchable, they're open-ended, there's a lot of space to look at what's going on here. Then you're going to add a question. This is the Q part. So you've done the topic, this is the Q, the question. You're going to add an indirect question that indicates something that you don't know, something that you want to figure out. So this is going to be the sort of, I am studying blank because I want to find out blank. Okay, and you'll want to use these sort of question words. When you add that because I want to find out clause, you're telling us something really important. You're telling us what is that question that is so important to you that you want to answer in this project. So it's not just that you're studying the disappearance of large North American mammals. You're doing it because you want to find out whether they were hunted to extinction. And this is really the fundamental question you're getting to. This is the means to the end, right? Why is it that North American mammals disappeared? But your paper is really going to be about this piece. So this is critical. Make sure you have both of these. And then the third thing is significance. So this answers that big question of so what? Why does this matter? Who cares? What's important? So now you have the I'm studying blank because I want to find out blank. Now you're adding this really important piece, which is in order to. Why am I doing this? Why does it matter? Okay, so I'm studying blank because I want to find out blank in order to help blank understand blank. Sorry about my dogs in the background. C'est la vie with virtual learning, right? So I'm studying the disappearance of large North American mammals. We've got that topic because I want to find out whether the earliest peoples hunted them to extinction. in order to help Americans understand whether Native peoples lived in harmony with nature or destroyed it. And now you've really got, so this isn't in question form, right? I recognize this isn't a research question. There's no question mark on it. But what you have is the framework for your research question. This is what I'm going to be asking you to put together. Is what are you studying? What do you want to find out? And why does it matter? Once you have all of that, you can take it and turn it into an actual question. And a question really has to have these things. It requires judgment. It needs people to make an evaluation, not just a description. Sometimes research questions ultimately don't lead to judgment or evaluation. They just lead to, what is life like during COVID? Okay, that doesn't require a judgment or evaluation. That just requires me to describe what I'm experiencing, okay? And it has to invite engagement with alternate perspectives, okay? So it needs to be open-ended enough that different people could research your question differently. So we know you're going to go in X direction with this question because that's the way that you're compelled to go. But another researcher could take your same question and research it in a different way, could have a different perspective. Not necessarily the opposite perspective, just an alternate one, just another option. The second thing is that research questions have to be researchable. We talked about this a little bit, that you need to be grounded in stuff that is out there that people could actually look up. And they need to involve genuine points of ongoing debate. So this means people still disagree about this. For the most part, things like do vaccines cause autism have been settled in the research community. There are not credible scientists who are still engaged in that debate. And so I would say it doesn't involve genuine points of ongoing debate anymore. And then your research question should be simply written. It should be one sentence and it should be one question. It does not contain multiple nested questions. It should be in the singular. So this has a whole complicated structure here. This is not your research question. Your research question will be a simple, single question. It is okay if you stray away from your initial thoughts of what your research question is going to do over the course of your project. But this is sort of the starting point. So if we go back to this North American mammals project, your research question might be, how did the relationship between indigenous peoples and large mammals impact biodiversity? That might be where you start. So we've got this so what piece, right? The indigenous peoples, did they hunt them to extinction? We have this issue with mammals, and we have this biodiversity thing. Like, was extinction caused by that relationship? And that's a great question for you to start with and to be sort of the fundamental basis for your paper. Hopefully this was helpful for you. What you're ultimately going to do now is go into the assignment and you're going to identify a research question based on those directions, and that's the end of your work for Wednesday. Hopefully a little bit of a lighter Wednesday for you. Oh, actually, and then you need to provide feedback to your classmates based on this. So you're going to read each other's research questions, and you might offer a little bit of feedback. So have a great Wednesday, and I will see you all soon.